Going live. Okay, we're live, Richard. Give your first name and your ID number. Are you there?
My name is Dan Rafferty. My ID number is 503-189.
Good, and they could JPay you through that same number. All they have to do is put Ohio in, and your ID number and your name will post. Why don't you share us a little bit of a background that we did on like Facebook Live, but this is a little bit more broad. What you could talk about.
A little bit of backstory on me. Been incarcerated for 15 years for a crime I did commit. I'm the father of three. I was going to say three children, but they're grown up now. Divorced. Did I say I was 42?
Okay.
I'm doing life without parole. And that's about the gist of it.
Right, and our hopes is that you're going to be proven innocent and walk out.
From an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded
I hate
and monitored.
that. Okay.
Yeah, same here.
Your fiance is listening too. You could say hi to her.
Hey, sweetie.
Oh no, I don't want to hear that now.
That's another backstory. I am
You're getting married. Okay, that's too. That's too mushy for me. I mean, all I want is some wedding cake. That's it. So, but yeah, well, congrats on that. I mean, I think it's some marriages last in there. Especially the ones that are real tight. So you do fine. Okay, getting back to life without parole. Did they offer you any plea deal? Knowing you were innocent, so you weren't going to take it, but did they offer you a plea deal?
They did. Initially, they were trying to seek the death penalty, and they asked that if I would testify against any remaining co-defendants, they would drop that and give me life without parole. And I told my attorney that I'd rather get the death penalty than spend the rest of my life in prison.
A lot of people feel that way, but you got too much to live for now.
And on top of it, I didn't do it. And I stressed that I don't know how many different times offered to take a polygraph. And whatever, strangely, they came back and told me that the polygraphs were only admissible if the prosecutor allowed it to be in court, I guess. I don't know how that works.
But the judge has to agree to it, and both sides, like the prosecutor and the defense attorney, because the safest one is actually the voice analyst test. But I would get it through like an attorney. That's what Gary Reese got from Marion, and all the news stations in Ohio said, yes, we know he's innocent. I would have someone, but don't ever get it from a police department. It has to be from like an attorney's office.
Yeah.
But you've been down 15 years, and what do you have in the works now? Just trying to get the word out.
That's it. That's about it. And everything. My fiance can dig up. Shiloh. She works her tail off on it.
Right, I'm gonna give her some emails to email it to different news channels. I think it helps when the person's family actually does it. Because I'm also fighting my case too, somewhat. But I'm more for you guys because of your sentence, which nobody should get life without parole.
Yeah.
unless maybe a Ted Bundy or something, but they executed him. So, but I mean, we're getting back to the barbaric days, back like the 1800s. If you look at some of the laws that are passing, some of the death penalty, what they're going to do, they're bringing back hanging in some states. You know, that's ridiculous.
Wow.
Nevada is the hanging, firing squad, gas chamber, and everything. You know, you could pick.
Yeah.
But let's get back on your case. What are some? What do you want to get out of promoting your case? We know you're innocent, and I believe you're innocent myself. You can kind of tell when somebody's innocent just by talking to them. What are some of the things you need now from people to assist you?
An attorney willing to really put the work in. I don't know how much work it would take. Like I said, we have evidence that I didn't do it. There's plenty of paper evidence, you know, that
Right.
suggests the same.
Right.
And there's, like I said, we have the physical evidence that proves it. I don't know what else they would need.
Yeah, and there's a time. Yeah, there's a time frame for some of this stuff. I don't know what you can do, because like appeals is I think 2 years. You know.
Correct. But when you take a claim of actual innocence, there's no time limit.
Okay, good.
Now, if you start rolling the ball on something,
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
if you start rolling the ball on something,
Okay.
they want you to follow through with it.
Okay. One thing you need, yeah. One thing you need is, yeah.
Thing and then a year later,
Right.
something else.
You need an attorney to help you with post conviction, is what your fiance said. You know, I would, if you have a chance to go back, talk to the guy that I was telling you that calls me like 50 times a day. Let's see if we could get a documentary from, oh boy, the school that Jim Petro went to, Denison University.
Yeah.
See if they would be willing to do a documentary, like they did for your buddy in there that's probably in the hole again.
Easily.
Yes, I was trying to, you know, my computer is very sensitive. So
Yeah.
my computer actually shut down one time when I tried to video him.
Wow.
So, but it would be neat if we could get Denison University to do documentaries on certain cases and you know, get them out there and, you know, take it to different conferences so people can see it. I would actually like, well, your fiance is speaking at our conference on the 21st of November, and she could put literature on our table, but she's speaking that day, and you know, so you're going to get promoted as long as we're in existence. So, and hopefully you'll be home by you know, within the next couple of years.
I hope so. You know, like I have a letter that was sent to me from my one co-defendant, the female co-defendant. You know, explaining to me not exactly how they went about doing what they did, but explaining that it's really just apologizing to me, having me caught up in all of this.
What sentence did they
How
get?
do you go about it? What's that?
What sentence did they get?
She got 23 to life, and which is the minimum for everything that she was convicted on. And that was contingent on her testimony against me.
Right.
I actually put off sentencing her to see how she would testify against me. One guy, this is what floors me. This floors me right here. Jason Keenan, he was there. He witnessed this murder. He admitted to getting rid of the gun. He's complicit. He helped these guys. He got 1 year work release and 3 years probation.
It's sad. It's
I
just.
wasn't even there. I wasn't even there, and they tried to give me the death penalty.
How do we got people watching the video when we're not live streaming it? Wow. Well, we got to convince society, especially because society is the one that watches all these TV shows and assume everybody's guilty. The courts don't make mistakes. I don't think courts make mistakes. I think they do this on purpose because they want a conviction, an easy conviction. And attorneys will sell you guys out for the next case.
Yeah.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
I think I do. I think a lot of prosecutors have that must-win mentality. Win at all costs.
Right.
Like the second chair of the prosecution, they know that attorney-client privilege exists. They know you don't listen in on a client and an attorney and his client's conversation.
Right.
They do that, but they listen to mine. And they say, oh, well, it was a recorded conversation. It doesn't matter. You know that exists, so why do it?
Yeah, I'm not going to mention your name, but I'm going to talk to Sue Hudson about that, about what they're doing. I'm not going to mention your name or anything. I talked to Stu the other day about another problem. But
and it's just, but they do. They have that must-win mentality, and that puts innocent people, it ruins their lives.
right.
It ruins, you know what I mean? Like, it completely ruins lives. It didn't just ruin my life. Kids' life.
Right.
The psychological trauma that they've had with growing up without a father. Their mother died when they were young teens.
Right.
They grew up parentless.
Right.
And so this is going to carry on with them to their kids. And something the judge told me at my sentencing, she looked at me and she said, Mr. Rafferty, you're never really fully going to understand the amount of destruction left in your wake. And that has always resonated with me, that phrase. And if you were to sit and think about all the destruction that is left in the wake of prosecutorial misconduct, it's huge.
Right.
The number of families that those people have destroyed.
Yeah, it is, and I don't think the state nor the courts really care about that. They care about their pockets and getting reelected.
Exactly.
That's more important than human lives.
There's a story out there, and they tell it the way they want people to see it, and they'll try to make it as ugly and make you as a terrible of a foe as that they can put together, and cast themselves as the white knight coming in to save people.
Right. And I agree with you on that. We have to change the thinking of these people, especially.
Yeah.
Summit County is really correct.
Oh man, I'll tell you what. I had never thought it. I never thought that whole time I was going through there. I had never up to that day thought that the justice system was in the shambles that it's in.
Right. It's got a lot of fixing.
Fix that. Yeah, I don't know. Since I've been in prison, all I've ever heard about is reform. And I don't see it doing any good.
Right. Well, it sounds like you're doing good. Some people really, the programs anybody could get improve their life even if they're not guilty of a crime. But I would not say if I was not guilty of a sex crime, I would not take the sex offenders program. If I'm not guilty of,
Is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
if I'm not guilty of, say, drugs or anything, I'm not going to take any drug classes because the pro board will use that against you.
Right.
They say, "Oh, you got something else
I've
wrong
never
with
had
you."
to face the parole board, but I've heard nothing but horror stories. from inmates.
It's horror. I talked to the pro board chair about a week ago. And their pro ratio has gone up a little bit under this director, but it's far from what it should be. They're giving out 10-year flaps like nothing.
Wow. But 10 years is a long time.
Yeah.
That is a long time.
Well, it is, and you may not have to see them now, but if laws ever change, our goal would be to get you out, completely innocent. But they could take you off of life without parole, without you admitting guilt, and then you could end up going to the pro board. But the safest way still is to prove your case. Which I'm new to this. I got talked into this from our board members, and I agreed. I said this is a very serious issue.
Now, doesn't the parole board one of the things that they really want to see from an inmate when they're in front of them?
They want to see remorse.
Yeah.
How do you have remorse if you're innocent?
Exactly. And I know that a lot of them, from what I understand, they want people to accept responsibility for things that they had done, but again, how do you accept when you didn't do it?
Right.
I mean, what am I supposed to do if I go in front of the board and they say, "Well, Mr. Rafferty, how do you feel about those crimes?"
Right. Hey, remember also to give your contact information again, because I want to do YouTube and Facebook Live with you at least once a month. I want to keep it fresh in everybody's mind so they don't forget.
Yeah.
So, because we're going to try to keep it to around 30 minutes, so that we don't lose people. People just don't want to listen to a lot of stuff, even if it's informational.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure,
and I'm the same way, but so we need to find you. We need to have an attorney step up.
From an Ohio correctional facility and may
Call
be
Joel
recorded and
Spitzer in
monitored.
Delaware
They
and
say
just
that,
mention me, huh?
I saved a CO from being attacked a couple years ago, and they say that if I see one more, I might be eligible for parole. How do you get that out? How does that work?
I don't know. Have one of your friends attack CO, I guess. So, I mean, that's kind of stupid on their part.
That's horrible.
Yeah, and I'll be honest. I got a couple staff members from there, that I communicate with, but I don't have a lot of respect for a lot of the staff up at Toledo. The way they talk to me, the one lady called me a bitch and hung up on me. So I ran with the warden's phone. I love to mess with the secretary.
Yeah.
So, but we want to. Someday we're going to come up there and protest. I'm not going to be doing much anymore. But our board and our supporters, I think, will like to go around and do the prisons. I don't want to do every single prison, just because it doesn't help the cause. If you spend more time on fighting and on bringing people together, uniting and fighting the cause instead of protesting, you're going to see a big difference.
Yeah.
So, and it costs money to protest. You got to pay for gas. So, so if we could sit down and raise enough money that we could start helping with certain things to help bring out awareness, I would like to do a documentary on wrongful convictions. You know, and feature a few people like you, Candace's husband. You know, feature a few of you guys and their loved ones. So
I think this experience has definitely opened my eyes to a serious tragedy that resides in our justice system.
do you? And I think I've asked you this before. Don't give me any names though. Do you know who committed it? The murder?
Well, I mean, I know the people who were involved, but as far as the principal offender, no. It's tossed up either between Kramer or Shun.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't expect you to give that name. You know, I would hold it.
I wouldn't care. I really don't care.
Right, but I would hold that. I would hold that information in case you need it in post conviction or something.
Yeah.
You know, and just be careful what you say to anybody in there, because those haters, if they see that you're getting ahead on your case or something like you know who in there, they will be so jealous. You know.
I believe it. Yeah. There's some really despicable people. Very despicable people here.
There is. That's no different than Lucasville, though. Same.
Society.
Yeah. Well, when do you go back to security review?
I think February. Yeah.
Then you would go down to a closed.
Correct.
I've seen them drop people 2 levels before too, but I think it was for their own protection.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
Well,
or if you do something, extraordinary.
Yeah. Well, when you find out they drop your security, let me know what institution you're interested in. Okay?
I don't want to. I would like to get probably either Trumbull or the NCCI, I think it's called. NCCI or something like that.
What's the closest to your fiance? Trumbull, wouldn't it?
Toledo is right now.
Oh.
Toledo is right now. And the next close one will be either Mansfield, Trumbull, or NCCI.
Mansfield's got their own issues, though. Because I tell you, Trumbull's probably the best one. Lebanon's the worst out of all of them. And Ross and Lebanon.
I've been through Ross. I've been there on the hub. It doesn't look too much different than Mansfield.
I was there when it was a medium camp back in the early 90s.
Yeah.
And they rode me out, and I went to Lebanon. Then from Lebanon, I went to Luke, and then back down, and then back up. So.
Yeah. I spent a couple of years in Lucasville. Lucasville, that right there, that's the epitome of prison. That's the joint. That is a joint.
Yeah. So is Old Mansfield. When I first got locked up, I went to Old Mansfield because I was a reformatory.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I've met some people coming out of there.
Well, why don't you?
They told me stories.
Yeah. If you could give your fiance a summary on what you would like on our website when we get it back up, and a picture, we will post it once we get our website back up. We just had to get, the person that was supposed to do it just has not, finished it yet. I think we lost your fiance though.
Yeah.
Because the phone is beat.
On the phone?
Yeah, it could be the weather. But if we could do once a month, she's back again though. If we could do once a month, YouTube, and actually I want to get you on podcast. I think the next time I want to do you on a podcast. I I got to figure out how I can do it because I do the podcast from my phone. I wonder if your wife would be able to put you on a loudspeaker. I don't know how it would work. So we could do the podcast. And I have quite a few listeners. Yeah, podcast is basically just a like a radio type thing, like a weekly thing. I do it once a week. I've been banned a couple of times because you can't ask people to vote the governor out. They get offended. So, hey, I got 2 notices on Facebook that said my page is going to be shut. Yeah, no, on Facebook I got 2 notices. Candace got one. Your pages are just about to be shut down.
Wow.
Yeah.
I heard about that.
Hey, when you try,
Twitter's been doing that lately.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the more you do, and if Mark Zuckerberg or whatever his name is doesn't like what you're doing, you're yeah. But we're gonna boy, how long do you guys have for phone calls there?
This call is originating from an
Wow.
Ohio correctional facility.
Most places have trouble.
Minutes on that one.
How many? 30? Good.
30 minutes.
Yeah, 30
Good.
minutes.
Good, and that's the ones I like. The 30 minutes will really get the message out, but if we keep pounding in people's minds and reminding them on what took place, that you shouldn't be locked up, sooner or later, you're going to get the word out, the news media. If we could send the YouTube, it'll be on my thing probably by morning. I turn this off, and then it usually pops up on my YouTube by morning time. Because the one I thought I lost last time ended up on YouTube. So, I don't know how that happened. But why don't you share your last thoughts for the remaining of the time that we have?
Well, the last thoughts definitely go towards getting the story out there on the evidence that we have that proves I didn't do it. One, the video. If there's any way, or if there's anybody that's listening that knows somebody or specializes in how to enhance the videos, make them clearer, better, that would be great. If there's anybody that can dedicate their time into following up leads or answering some questions, maybe somebody who's listening is familiar with somebody who's involved with the case, they might know something or somebody.
Okay, if somebody wanted,
that's really where we're at when it comes to my appeal is I need a certificate of availability.
Right.
I need just one more thing, one more piece of evidence that wasn't shown at trial.
Right.
To get this thing moving forward, and of course, an attorney.
Okay, now if somebody wants to get involved to help you with your cause, I think your fiance has to get the information on the email that I just moved you close to her phone.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Well, we can do that afterwards. We'll do that after you're off the phone. But give your ID number again and your address of the institution.
Well, my ID number is 503189. The address for POCI is 2001 East Central Avenue, Toledo, Ohio. I think it's 43608.
Okay.
And again, if anybody can lend a hand, we're right on the edge. We're very, very close. This isn't like it's a case that doesn't have any evidence backing my innocence. There's plenty there. We just have to get it into the courts.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. The stuff that I'm hearing is that, you know, I think you're very
Thank
close
you for
to getting.
using GTL.
Okay. What's your name? Oh, Shannon.
Shiloh.
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 Okay. What contact information can people have to get a hold of you if they would like to help? If it's an attorney, if they would like to get involved. You have an email, I know, and a Facebook page that could probably inbox you on. If you would give that information, so the email is usually the easiest. There's a paper trail.
Yeah, the email is wrongfulconvictionrafferty@gmail.com.
Okay. And
And the Facebook page is under Wrongful Conviction Patrick Shane Rafferty.
okay, yeah, I know I'm on his page, I think.
Yes.
Then we also have a wrongful conviction page that Shiloh or somebody's running. I think Shiloh's on there, but my board member sure in hell ain't going to do nothing on there. I mean, you know, and I don't know enough about wrongful conviction to post on there. You know, I did that in hopes that people would post their stories on there and information that they would like that page Candace wanted me to do about mothers and daughters and women that have loved ones like that, where they can collaborate together and come up with ideas. And I mean, each case is different, but some ideas may help other people as well.
That is true.
But never give out too much information that hurts you in the long run.
Exactly.
So, okay, everyone. We'll have him back on sometime in the future.